Hello, Key Biscayne. It is Wednesday, December 9th, 2015. This is the No One's Listening Show. I'm your host, Rolf. To my left is Griff.
Hello.
To his left is G-Man.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
To his left is Anna.
Hi.
To her left is Austin.
Hey, really excited to be here tonight.
And to his left is Manny.
Folks, in the words of Otis Day from Otis Day and the Nights, I missed you guys, and it's so good to be back here at the Death Delay Club.
Woo! So how's everybody doing?
Good.
BTG.
All right. Start with weekend talk, and somebody else go first.
I'll start it off. Nothing. I'm a new homeowner, so my Saturday was spent driving around the Falls, South Miami area looking for couches.
Austin Talum, ladies and gentlemen.
In monsooning, downpouring rain, felt like I was in hell, but it was a nice thing to do as a newly wed couple. Friday night we did the yacht club Friday nighters, and we were lured in by Hochi for he gets really excited at the raffle they do every Friday night.
Any day now.
Apparently it's up to like $1,000, and they called some guy's name that nobody had ever heard of before. So I assume next week's pot will be bigger.
How does that work? What's the raffle? I mean, you just go in every week and you have to be there when they call your name?
Exactly.
So every Friday night they ring a bell, and then they draw a name out of a hat, and if you're there you win. If you're not, it rolls over to next week like the Powerball or whatever, and the pot gets bigger. So the pot's up to like $1,500 or something. It's a $1,500 bar tab.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's like a great parlor trick.
Where is
right?
this?
I mean, it's
At the yacht club.
At the yacht club.
Yeah.
How much is the buy-in?
There's no buy-in. You just have to be there.
When they call your name randomly?
Yeah. So they have all the members' names in a hat, and they pull a
That's
member's name.
awesome.
Even better.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So
that's awesome.
no buy-in. You just
So
have to show up.
who's won so far?
I haven't heard of any winners. I heard they pulled like Todd Gross's name one time, and he wasn't there. And
Oh,
I've
man,
heard a bunch of near misses, but
Somebody's sniping. They're like, all right, who's not here tonight?
yeah, exactly.
My weekend, Friday, spent it at a friend's house. It was her birthday party. She was turning 31.
Oh, I was there with you.
And then Saturday, since it was Basel week, a lot of friends of ours grouped together, and they went to Soho House on the beach. When I got there, after having a lot of drinks.
Wait, went Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
The day of the tent party on the beach? Oh, you were going to the tent party?
Let him explain it.
So
It
I
was
went,
good.
on Saturday, I started off my day, day drinking with Rafa. I had a bottle of rum. It was great. And then decided to go to the tent. But before getting into the tent, I had to go through the lobby. And that was nearly impossible with a large crowd. I couldn't get in. So since I couldn't get in and I couldn't get anybody to pluck me out of the crowd, I had to go about a block down and sneak in through the beach. So I get through the beach, and I try to get into the tent, and they say, hey, where's your stamp? I'm like,
It rubbed off.
Luckily, I had a friend of mine that snuck me into the tent, and I find myself in the tent, packed like sardines. The drinks are really expensive, and I realized I'm not having fun, and after I went through all this, and it was not worth it,
No.
packed up my stuff within 30 minutes, and went home. And that was my weekend.
Were you there by yourself?
No, I went there with a few friends, and by the time I got there, they were already pretty tired of the same thing. And
Did they have to sneak in through the beach, Key Rat style, too?
actually, maybe two friends, but the rest of them got in earlier because they showed up like around 8. So
Cool.
that's it.
Well, on the Basel note, I worked all weekend. But I also went to this party on Friday. I was just really tired. But I snuck in also somewhere on Saturday night.
Oh, man.
It must run in our circle of friends. I snuck into the A$AP Rocky album release party at 3 Point.
Dude, my
at
son went
Linwood.
to that concert.
So, on that note as well, I went with my interns. Shout out to the interns from Pinta. They're all 19, 20-year-olds.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, so it was me and a bunch of 20-year-olds. But it was really fun. It's not that A$AP Rocky was good, but it was just a fun...
Where was that?
At Mana Winwood. So the fair was at Mana, and next door they have a sound stage within the same building. And they had 3 Points, which is usually in October, and that you guys went to. But they had a 3 Points Basel edition. And some band or some DJ, I don't know, I still don't remember, called K Tronada. That's what they went for, was after A$AP Rocky, and it was fun. I snuck in. Tickets were $75, so I would have not been happy paying that. But I snuck in, I bought the interns drinks. people were getting high around there.
I was in I was
fun.
in Wynwood on Saturday night too. I went. My cousin Gustavo. You guys are gonna meet Griff. You know him. Shout out to Gustavo. Calen. Yeah, he's
He's a man.
Yeah, he's a badass mountain beach man. So he lives in Costa Rica.
Watch out,
I'm
ladies.
He's back
excited.
here.
I'm excited to meet
So he was in town for Basel, and I got into town on Friday night at midnight. So my weekend was one day. Saturday, my Basel experience was one day, and I was going to Wynwood anyway. I knew I was going to go.
Should have
there.
snuck into the concert with me and
I
my
know.
interns.
Yeah, we were. That's the thing. We were over there, and we ended up at Gramps, and that's
Okay.
where. Yeah, so that's where we were at that same time. I'm glad I didn't run into my son over there in Wynwood.
That would have been awkward.
No, it would have been fine.
Well, but you know, I realized hanging out with these people, it's so fun to once in a while hang out with people that are not in your age group. It was a different vibe, and it was just fun.
Well, the
For
funny
sure.
thing is,
Manny does that every
I
week.
do it all the time. I'm doing that right
Well,
now.
yeah, well,
So
we're
are
doing
you.
it with you right now, yeah.
6 years from now, they'll be in our age group, right? Late 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 34. How old are you?
30.
30. I mean,
So I'm
You
like
know, once
10,
you-
11 years older than these kids.
once you get up there, you all start getting lumped into the same age
Yeah.
group.
I mean, I felt like I was one of them. I was dancing. Thanks, guys, for all the help, if you're listening.
What about you, G-Man?
Probably the highlight of my weekend was going over to Rafa's, the Crow's Nest. Just a perfect rainy day activity when there's nothing else to do.
Is that what you call it over there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the best perspective to look at stuff. And I also went over to like an offshoot, I don't know, like a sister show called Context over in like, I don't know, you call that like the Midtownish area. That was
Satellite fairs.
Yeah, it's called Context.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Like I enjoyed it. Mostly the people watching. Like
Yeah.
some of the just the
How
outfits.
about how was
the women
the
around there.
traffic? The traffic for me wasn't really bad.
At that point, it wasn't too bad.
But
No, there was pretty much non-existent. This was on Sunday. It wasn't bad. So that was pretty good. I mean,
Man, I got that invite to Rafa's for burgers on Saturday,
Yeah.
and I had to turn it down for couch shopping.
I was gonna say I was gonna guess
That was the hardest text ever, but
I was gonna guess Bed Bath Beyond, man. What couch shop?
But I used it as leverage to come tonight. I was
Wow.
like, okay, babe,
Yeah.
I went couch shopping with you Saturday.
Oh, man, down at the
Wednesday night
falls.
is
Radio
mine.
show, it's on.
Wednesday night is mine.
that is terrible. Oh.
Oh, man.
No,
Did you get the couch?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
of course.
man.
Couch,
Just-
couch
just
shopping
window
is
shopping.
difficult. It's really difficult.
And expensive.
What kind of style are you going for?
Whatever she likes.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
comfy,
Oh,
and I
jeez.
need an ottoman that fits in so I can lay down like fully. I'm not sure couch talk is that exciting.
So Saturday we did that thing at my house, which I don't know. I just invited everybody over for burgers and
I
fries.
was not invited.
Yeah, but you were working.
Yeah, me neither.
You're at Basil.
Hazel.
Yeah, so we knew. I don't know why I had a hunkering for burgers and fries. The fries was my favorite part because making home fries is so much better than
Where do you do the
bag
burgers?
fries.
You have a grill?
No, I make them on the stove. And so that was a good day. We hung out. Matt brought his drone. We took these cool pictures.
About the drone.
The drone off the balcony?
Every time I want to launch that thing, I told him, "Don't do it. Let's go downstairs or something." It's like it's okay. It'll be fine.
Who,
So I'm
Matt?
Matt.
Matt?
It's his drone, so he's flying it, and I'm holding it off, and he's just like, "Just let it go as it pulls away," and like how there's a weird draft coming up the building and everything.
What floor are we
just
on,
like
Rafa? What
unpredictable.
floor?
15th.
15th
Okay,
floor.
which way? You facing east, right out?
We
to the
were
ocean?
Out towards
facing
the
yes,
water.
exactly.
So I'm holding it, and he's like, "Okay, let go," and it just immediately drops, and it comes in a little bit. It gets like an inch away from. It was bad.
Yeah, if
there's
it
a
would've
video
hit-
of me watching it like drop and looking at it and just being like, "Oh."
Because the east wind caught him? Or
No,
what?
because he just didn't give enough power on
yeah,
launch.
he should have been pulling away from the.
Yeah.
But whatever. So he dropped and he made it off, and I breathed a sigh of relief because.
And
if
what,
it
does he
would've-
have a camera on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it would have touched like the side, if any of the props would have touched the side, it would have just tumbled to the floor and $1,000 gone.
Matt would have been really, really unhappy
Yeah.
for the rest
Is
of
that
the
how much
day.
they
and
are?
week
Yeah,
and
the
month.
good
How long
ones.
has he
Yeah.
been flying it?
Oh,
A couple months.
yeah, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
we brought it to the Bahamas and we had some iffy landings out in the Gulf Stream, with like pitching seas and stuff. But anyway, Matt wanted to bring it back into the balcony too. And again, I was like, just land it on the ground. I volunteered to go and retrieve it, But he insisted on doing it. And there's a video of Rafa grabbing it and it went off without a hitch.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
awesome.
It's like Amazon
But
coming
I
right
was
in.
clenched.
Here you go,
That
Rafa.
video's cool. That video's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
He's taken some epic videos
That's
with that
amazing.
thing so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
With anything remote control, it's just a matter you get more and more daring.
Yeah.
And then
Does he
eventually
use
you
a
crash it into
GoPro on
something.
there? Is it a
Yeah.
GoPro?
That's always,
Yeah,
that's always the
It's
nature.
like a built-in.
Yeah,
That's always
built-in
the end of the
camera.
That was
story.
cool. We got some
It's
great shots.
It's stabilized, so it's like perfectly smooth. It's nice. And then the other thing I did was I had a a Griff weekend where I started on last Wednesday after the show. We hung out, and then I went to watch the Jacuzzi Boys by myself. I just went out there, like
On the beach?
No, they were playing at the old Vagabond. It's like right off North Miami Avenue, right there, like near the Omni, I guess you would say. Anyway, so I go over there, and I'm thinking, like, I just want to watch these guys. I don't want to drink. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to watch the show because I really like the band. And so they go on. They're jamming. It's so good. Like, they jam so hard. So they play really well together, all this stuff. And then they call up Sax Man, and I'm like, Sax Man. And it's freaking Jesse, the guy who's out here, 90s Color Jesse, gets called up to the stage, and he plays with them. And I'm like, oh, from there, I was just sitting on the speaker, like on the side, like kind of watching, by myself. And so I'm like, oh my God, this is rocking. Yeah. And then I ran to the front, headbanging the whole time. It was sick. Yeah, but great time. You guys got to listen to that band. They're really good.
Jacuzzi, have you posted
what?
that?
I want to correct you. Your weekend did not start on Wednesday. It started on Tuesday night with me. Okay, at the corner. Okay.
Wait,
but that was the week
or the week before.
Well, that's
we
this
went last
weekend.
night also.
Yeah, so that
really,
counts as this weekend.
You're on the 8th day of your
Wednesday
weekend.
is the weekend start day.
So what's Tuesday? Is the end
Tuesday
of the weekend?
is the end of the weekend.
So we ended the weekend last night as well. But last week,
Rafa was dragging for the show on Wednesday.
He went to the opening of Pinta at the art fair, and then we went to the corner. So we ended the weekend.
It was good.
The corner should get. They have free advertising on this. They should just.
But I've not seen anybody show up because of our free advertising. Even people in this group haven't gone, so I don't know how efficient it is.
Shout out to Hillary.
Yeah, Hillary is
at the corner.
Yeah, yesterday was my day of rest.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it out.
So that was good. Highly recommend you guys check them out. And what else happened? No, I guess nothing else.
Have you posted Jacuzzi Boys online or anything? Or?
I have. I recommended it one time. I was going to do it today, but I got so many songs here
that's your weekend talk, and I think we should go over to the trivia.
Yeah, we should go with the trivia. Let me
almost
just
15 minutes.
Yeah, let me just say that it is 6:45 p.m. on this Wednesday, December 9th, 2015. 305-361-8557 if you got something to say. You could text us also, or WhatsApp, or call. And we have a trivia question finally. And
before the trivia question, I'm going to offer up 2 tickets to The Big Short when it premieres. My cousin wrote and directed it. It's coming out to theaters soon. You should go see it. It looks awesome.
Wait, the Big Short. I mean, this is a big time film. Who's in it?
Big time film.
Guy named Brad Pitt,
Christian Bale, Ryan Gosling.
Steve Carell.
Marissa Tomei, Steve Carell. It's
Anna, you love
big
Steve
time
Carell.
film, so.
Huh?
I do. I think he's
2
great.
free tickets to whoever calls in to get the trivia. If no one calls in, I might buy someone here tickets if they go with me.
305-361-8557. Ice jingle. So, okay, we ready, guys? You guys ready over there?
No.
Okay.
It's a part of the show, Rafa. It's part of the show.
Yeah. I want to do another section called "What Are You Drinking?" Because I think that'd be interesting.
I like
Wait,
that.
did we do the trivia?
No,
No,
we didn't do the trivia. We're waiting for you guys to.
Austin.
Okay, Austin.
Rafa's doing it.
Okay,
maybe.
it's Austin's question, but I don't know the answer.
I'm
Only
sorry.
Austin does. Here's a trivia question: 305-361-8557. 2 tickets to the movie,
To The Big Short.
The Big Short,
Yes.
with Brad Pitt, directed by Anna McKay. Name the Stiltsville Social Club that appeared in Life magazine in 1941.
Ooh.
This is. I think I know.
Name the Stiltsville Social Club
What is it, Griff?
that
Oh, yeah,
appeared
I'm
in
gonna say-
Life magazine
on, no one's
in
gonna believe you.
Do we give them a
1941.
minute or 2 to call in?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
We
Jonathan does it.
always
I have a
make the
little
mistake
anecdote.
of guessing right away.
Austin, you've never listened to this show before, have you?
I listened to it on delay.
Because no one's calling in. Right
Sure?
now.
You sure?
Well, no, I'm not sure, but maybe.
Can I ask a clarifying
maybe the
question about the
person's in.
trivia?
Are there ever prizes for trivia?
Okay,
Yeah,
we're
it
all
was
talking over each
New
other.
car last week.
A beer.
Okay, what is it again?
So you said it's a social club that was mentioned in.
Name the Stiltsville Social Club that appeared in Life magazine in 1941.
So it's not just it's an actual social club. It's not just a name they dubbed it.
Oh,
Correct. I believe it's an actual social club.
yeah,
Okay.
there was from what I think I read something, there was more than one club out there, but the one he's talking about had a membership fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I think it was
that
$1.
answers my question. Okay.
So I got a cool trivia from just trivia to talk about related to that while we wait for people to call.
Yeah.
So at some point, I don't know what year it was. I'm gonna guess it was the 70s, but maybe it was the 60s. A house burned down at Stiltsville, and rumor has it that it was a whorehouse. And a group of women from the Key went out there and lit it on fire once they found out that
All their husbands were out
husbands
there?
weren't going out fishing.
Wait, is that involved with the social club? we're
No,
talking
it's,
about?
I mean,
So is that
What
the
year was
Bikini
that?
Club?
I don't know, but
No, that's not. It's not the bikini. Well, the answer to the trivia is not bikini club.
Right. That's
No.
why that was the question I was asking before, because the Bikini
What
Club
year
was the
the place to be.
well, it was like a beached boat out there that kind of started a lot of that whole idea of being out there, which was a brothel of sorts,
Man.
or rumored to be anyways.
That-
Wait, what years? What years in the 60s? Is that what you said?
Late
40s.
late
Oh,
30s,
the
early
40s.
40s.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really. I mean, when you start to read about that stuff and see pictures, it's so cool. I mean, they started to form little dinner clubs and gambling clubs out there
Brothels.
in the early 40s, right? Girls in
Yeah, well,
bikinis, which back then was like
The,
really.
the story I always heard
scandalous.
was that this boat, was beached out there, and then it became the Bikini Club, with girls in bikinis and stuff, which is pretty risque at the time. And the houses that are out there now, I mean, none of those were built before the, late 50s, I don't think. So that's what.
Right, the boat
why I don't
was
understand
beached on one of the flats out there.
Yeah, so like in the
Ma-
40s, there was no such thing as Stiltsville. That's what's interesting about that question.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
I
I mean,
was wondering that too. But
So-
anyways.
technically, it probably wasn't called Stiltsville yet.
Right, because there wasn't Vills on stilts.
So the phone lines are jammed up. If it's busy, keep trying. No one's gotten the right answer so far.
All right, well, it's out
305.
there.
Are we on air in
Yeah.
general? Like, could the people hear us?
Yep,
people.
we are live. 305-361-8557.
Griff, this is a radio show. Welcome, man. Thanks for
Thank you.
joining us.
I'm back.
104.7.
I told
All right.
my dad to listen tonight, so maybe he's listening.
It's time for what are you listening to? All right. So what are you guys listening to?
I thought we had a special edition, but maybe I just made that up.
Yeah,
Special edition of what we're listening to, dedicated to Scott Weiland.
So Scott Weiland passed away this week. Scott Weiland was the lead singer of Stone Temple Pilots and Velvet Revolver, and then he did solo projects. He died of a cocaine overdose. I think they found him in a bathroom in the tour bus with a bag of coke from like heart failure. Anyway, the guy had long-time drug addiction problems. So this band STP, I used to listen to it all the time. It was really big when I was growing up. It never a lot of people dismissed them because they weren't Nirvana or Pearl Jam, but they were really good. And he was they had a much more bluesy sound than the grunge sound, which was a welcome change from those other bands. And then he would do these dances, which was like the evolution of from Mick Jagger to what he was doing. You could tell he was like inspired by it,
Yeah.
and it was so good. He'd like have his shirt off, and he was like all like strung out and doing these awesome little
Interesting
dances.
movements,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
cool. And so I've been listening to that all week. You want to say a song?
Mine's it's kind of mainstream, but I was listening to different albums of theirs, but I still think Core is the best one. And Wicked Garden is just so good. Sin's number 2, but Wicked Garden is just too good because it gets all his ranges. Like his voice goes up and down, and there's a crazy guitar. It's just too good to not say that one. And before I give up the mic, Jonathan and I actually saw Stone Temple Pilots. He's looking at me. He's looking at me with these eyes like he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Maybe.
But in 2001,
Yeah, we did.
in 2001 when we were 16, we went to the Family Values Tour
That's right.
in Sunrise, Florida.
That's right.
And I looked up the Family Values Tour in 2001 to see who was playing there. And it was Stone Temple Pilots, Linkin Park, Puddle of Mud, Stained, Static X, and some other people I don't
It's
know.
funny, we were there.
And we were there. And
ST
Stone Temple Pilots were headlining.
Oh yeah,
Family Values
I was
Tour
gonna
in
say
2001.
they're definitely the best band on that list.
Yeah, Linkin Park. Come
Yeah.
on. But yeah, we took a van out there, and Gato, Jonathan's wife, her uncle drove us out there, and we had a bunch of beers. And then
what was crazy about that show was that Santana came out.
Yeah.
Santana came out and he did a little thing, and it was great. It was the first time I saw him, and obviously the last time I've seen him, but definitely made a mark on my life.
Yeah.
I'll say Adhesive. That's a song I really like from STP. I've been listening to it all week, just over and over. So check that one out. You guys have anything?
Songs, anybody?
Postal Service, Sleeping In. Put that on the radio, please.
All right.
And
Nice.
maybe some other Postal Service if you.
Nice.
Where did you
Maybe
hear
one.
that again?
I was just thinking about it now. I mean, it used to always be on the radio when it was over at Nixon Beach.
Yeah.
And I just missed that sound on there, as well as some of the ska that used to be on that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
But baby steps.
We'll get it back once the radio's back.
My song for the week,
Good point.
My song for the week is something I always hear all the time by a great band called War, and it's called Slipping Into Darkness. Great song.
Always on that funk.
Always.
Always Jonathan from the funk.
I listen to, I don't know if this is lame or not, but a lot of Jack Johnson while I'm at work.
That's not lame.
I don't know, it's kind of mainstream now, but he's a cool surfer guy and like very
He's cool.
mellow music that you can listen to and focus at the same time. On the Stone Temple Pilot subject, which is interesting because I've never really listened to them or watched them, which I want to watch some of the videos now, but I was listening to Talk Radio this morning, and they said that the kids wrote, with the help of their mother or something, a letter today to the mainstream media or something that may or may not be in Rolling Stone to come, basically saying that, listen, I know you guys lost him a couple days ago, but we lost him a couple of years ago, and it was kind of like a sad.
I read the article. It's written by his ex-wife, and it was like
His ex-wife and the kids, right?
Yeah.
And I read it in Rolling Stone.
yeah, and they basically say like, dude, Scott was a mess. You know, he abandoned his family, and I wish we could have done more, but you know, it's like
There were two pictures.
and it was like,
of him
don't
with
worship
his family.
his
Two pictures.
style, but.
Two pictures of him with his family.
Yeah.
And it was-
Yeah, that's what she said. She was like, he was barely there for the kids. When he was junked out. I mean, it was, you know, yeah, he was a mess, and he was an asshole.
Yeah.
But you know, like you see past the person for the art, I guess sometimes, you know. I mean, that happens with a lot of artists. Michael
Yeah.
Jackson's the easiest one to say, but I mean, like a lot of artists, you just don't, you can't condone their lifestyle, but they still make great art.
Yeah, mine were artists that didn't even know they were artists. I watched this movie on the flight home from Colorado, and then I went on and I learned the story and I listened to the tapes and stuff, all these recordings. It's called Shut Up, Little Man. Have you heard it before?
No.
Oh man, it's a great story. 1987. These guys are 2 years older than me, right? They just graduated from college, and they moved to San Francisco. They move into this little shack of a place. It's a pink building, looks like a Pepto-Bismol bottle. And the last thing the landlord says to him, she says, "Oh, and one more thing. The neighbors, they can be loud." 2 weeks later, one of the guys wakes up, and he hears these two guys fighting in the apartment next to him. They were fighting like these two 40 to 50-year-old single guys. They get drunk, and they just start screaming at each other and hating each other. And blah, blah. And one of them's like, "Shut up, little man." And that becomes his saying. So these guys... It's so incredibly funny, like what they're saying to each other, that these guys, it's a goof. They start recording them. They have a whole recording set up, and they record the conversations and the fights of these guys, and they make tapes and they share them with their friends. 1987, whatever.
Yeah.
There's obviously no way to communicate social media type and all that, right? But it goes underground, and people start splicing these recordings into, movies and cartoons and radio shows, and then it turns out that some guys want to make movies on it. So there's all these fights about who owns the rights and this and that. And the only reason I'm mentioning it, Rafa, is because I want you to listen to it, because I know you will research all this and listen to some of the "Shut Up, Little Man" and hear the story. The documentary is really funny. It's like 90 minutes, but that's what I was listening to. That would be funny.
All right, cool. And okay, before to the person who texted me from the internet, yeah, we saw the text. I don't know if you got my reply, but I saw it. So if you
What
want
was
to tell
the
us
text?
anything, he said it says rat. It comes from somebody says rat fan, and it says, "I'm texting from the internet. Do you see this?" And I said, "Yep, I do see it."
We want
so
more. Text us.
I replied. I don't know if you get the replies, but you can keep texting.
Before we end,
let me just say, I listened to a lot of music this week, so let me just tell you a couple songs. Bill Murray at the start of his Christmas special sings a song by Dean Martin called "The Christmas Blues." That's amazing. Just listen to the Dean Martin one.
Was that Christmas special good? Sorry, I
didn't see the whole thing. My brother was like, listen to the first song. It's good. Scott Weiland also put out an album of Christmas songs where he sings them in that kind of classic Frank Sinatra style. And
Was it good?
It's good. I mean, if you want to hear some Christmas songs, he's good. He's got that range.
Yeah, he does.
There's at the end of one of his albums, he actually sings a song in that style too. It's like the hidden track. I forgot which. I think it's on Purple. At the end of Purple, you can hear him sing that way. And then finally, I had heard this like a month ago, but I put it back on yesterday. David Bowie released a new single. He's 69 years old. The album comes out on his birthday in January. He's going to turn 70. The single's 10 minutes long. It's called
good.
Black Star, and it's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Rafa sent it to me this morning, and I heard it twice on the way to work in my car because I just needed to make sure.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Yeah. It's got a...
The funny part is that I didn't know how else to find it. I'm angry at RDO, and we'll discuss that in a second. But I put it on YouTube in my car, and once in a while I would just look down at my phone in the passenger seat. The video's crazy.
Yeah, the video's awesome too.
But
yeah.
I didn't want to see it because I didn't want it to affect my mood of how I listened to the song.
Or because you were driving.
And because or because I was driving.
And flying through crosswalks.
As we all know, I'm an angry driver, and But the song is so good. And Rafa and I, it was funny, we kind of had the same reaction to it. But I'm not going to say it because I want people to have their own reaction.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say it until...
I know, I won't say it either, but it's funny that we both thought the same
10-minute song. So.
Yeah, 10-minute single.
Commit to that. You have to commit to it.
It's so good.
It's
How long
good.
is Stairway to Heaven? 8 minutes?
Yeah, like 8. Wow. This has like more than one part, so it's almost like 2 songs or 3 songs even. Anyway, so check all those out.
I wanted to mention this while we're talking about music, about RDO. If anybody uses RDO out there,
Never heard
I feel like I'm alone, but if anybody uses it out there, they're not charging the next month, and it's ending. Pandora, I guess, bought it out, and they're gonna just
shut it down.
I guess by the day. They haven't given a date yet, but they already said in November that they're not charging in December.
Is it a music dating
It's
website? App? No? Sounds like it. Where'd you meet? Oh, on RDO. Oh, you haven't heard of it?
It's another version of Spotify. That's a good idea, actually.
A music dating.
Oh, you guys are listening to the same song. You're a match.
You know what? But that's how usually I'm attracted to people that like the same music that I do, and so I think that we should do that.
Yeah, but then I mean, you know why that wouldn't work? Is because the majority of people listen to pop music, and it's like, oh, you both are listening to Taylor Swift. Yeah, you and 100 million other people.
But guys, the people that don't though, like when someone listens to the same music and you're like, you know that band.
Yeah.
And it's a great opening line.
I'm in love with you.
You're listening to Adele? Me too.
Yeah,
Austin has.
I fell in love real fast.
Austin comes up with the ideas, and he came up with the KB Uber where like they drive themselves, or didn't he? Like the kids starting businesses.
Yeah. The Uber
Music
on the
dating
golf
app.
Now music dating app.
Well, it's a Spotify, but it's called RDO, and I'm just angry because I have like 2 years worth of lists.
It's gone. It's over.
Over.
Man. Bummer.
Don't renew if you're an RDO.
You can't even renew. They already closed off subscriptions like a month ago.
All right, it's Wednesday, December 9th, 2015. It's 7 o'clock p.m. This is Rat Radio and No One's Listening show. 305-361-8557. Call or text if you want to talk about something.
No one's gotten the trivia yet. Still
Yes.
open. Still out there.
What was that trivia?
Name the Stiltsville Social Club that appeared in Life magazine in 1941.
I'll give a hint to that too. There's a chain of popular restaurants in Fort Lauderdale, burger restaurants, that has the same name.
Oh. I have no idea.
Don't know.
Still
don't know.
Fort Lauderdale. That's Fort Lauderdale's. That's north, right?
Yeah, way north. Way north.
So I have to do a little section now that we've never done. It's called corrections because I got so many things wrong on last week's show that
That happens every week. There's
no,
always
but
something.
this time
now
it's
it has its own section.
yeah,
Okay.
which is good because they always say that the corrections run in small print and
You don't miss it.
And here it's a big section. So corrections. I said that the council had the village green donated by B.U. Rebozo. The truth is, the council paid $10 million for the village green right after incorporation, and it was a really big deal at the time. Okay.
What year was that?
92, I would imagine. I don't know when they bought it, but that's when they incorporated. Okay. Last week I said the entry block, the Stefano's area, sold for $25 million to the most recent buyer, and then we talked about how do you make your money back on all that and all this stuff, and we could still justify it at $25 million, but really it sold for $15 million. So
how do you make your money back?
You make your money back the way we talked about. Well, that goes to the next correction, which is that Bob Bristol sold his 2 units at the Square for $800,000, and then they were flipped separately for a total of $2 million. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I had said that he had sold the 2 units for $1 million, and then they had flipped for like $800 each, and it was different.
The opposite.
Yeah. And so how do you make your money back off $25 million for the entry block? You build enough places that people will pay $1 million to own one. So the other now that I've said all that, so those are the corrections. Do you guys notice that they bulldozed the Stefanos and the Carreta and all this stuff? It's gone.
Kind of sad.
I noticed that, and it's really before my time, Stefano, so it's definitely, way, way before your guys' time. But that was an institution. That place was, Gannon could speak to that because of what he saw when he saw his parents coming home, stumbling there from
Yeah, easy.
Shout out up there.
Shooting cannons off the bow.
Shout out.
For what it's worth, in 03, 04, we were going to Stefano's to play pool in the back.
So we did experience a little bit of Stefano.
It wasn't the same vibe as like lively Stefano's. It was actually completely dead, but
it was more of a nighttime place, really.
Yeah.
But we also had beers. We also had beers at La Carreta outside all the time.
Well, up
And
until
so that
only
was
a few
a
years ago, sure.
Yeah.
But Stefano's, I only remember that when I was a little kid, really.
Well, I happened by the new Stefano's today, and I sent you guys a video of it.
Great video, by the way.
Yeah, good job there.
Yeah, I didn't even say you mind if I film it, but. Do
you guys have a Rat Radio text that I'm not on or something?
I hadn't seen.
No.
What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Add me, please.
Actually, yeah, that is right. We gotta.
Add him in there.
Wait, but tell us about your video, Manny.
Be careful what you wish for.
Manny, tell us about your video.
So Stefano's, right?
Yeah. The lounge.
First of all, I hadn't been in there yet. I hadn't been into the store yet. I hadn't seen the whole remodel of the store. Someone mentioned it here on the show or a couple weeks ago. Have you been in this shop lately?
No, I haven't actually.
I've been using the one over there by the Garden District, over the Winn-Dixie.
That's a great. It's great.
And this new one, Stefano's, is I know the people that own it. Remember, I've told you that. And I went today, and the guy who owns it, his dad was sitting outside. I know the guy well. He knows my dad and my grandfather and my great grandfather. It's like one of those Cuban things. But they're from Venezuela now. But they're opening a lounge next door, and the lounge is a long. And you're talking about condo units, Rafa, going for $1 million. Mm-hmm. Is that the way they work?
Not in every shopping center.
The Square was condominium.
This one's different. This one probably is not that way.
The gallery is owned by one family, I think.
Okay. So anyway, the lounge is going to connect to the liquor store. The lounge is going to connect to the liquor store.
Like the old Stefano's.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be great, by the way.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I bet you they'll add food there.
The guy who didn't seem too excited about adding food in your video.
No, he didn't. You're right. I asked about that.
Was that the owner?
Yeah, that was the owner's father.
Mm.
The type of food is what you serve. Like stuff that's in coolers. Cheeses, meats,
easy.
whatever. Easy acompañantes.
That's great. It's going to be a great addition to the current bar scene that we have.
You think people are going to go there? Rafa said he would go if they left it as the shell that it is right now. By the way, it's about 6 months out. 6 months out is what that kind of renovation
It's going to be a hit. And you were mentioning earlier, since you live in the Garden District and you visit your local Winn-Dixie liquor store. It's actually a really good liquor store. And they actually, if you ever see any other prices for a bottle at any other liquor store, they will price match you. So if you find a bottle that say it's $40 at that liquor store and somewhere else it's $35, they'll price match. So that's a heads up for everybody here.
Stefano's will do that?
No, actually, Winn-Dixie will.
So
So that's a heads up.
Trying to give him a plug there, man.
I know, right?
Heads up for Winn-Dixie price
Went
matching.
to
Maybe
the
now
other
they will.
direction.
Maybe now they will. So Rat Radio coming here for you, for the consumer. Rat Radio is here for you.
That is right.
Winn-Dixie gave us a nice donation, so. plug
I
for
don't
Winn-Dixie.
like it there, so whatever.
I
What,
agree.
at that
is,
liquor store?
I'll be very clear about it.
This is 104.7 Rat Radio.
Yeah. I don't like the Winn-Dixie liquor store.
I agree. I'm willing to pay an extra couple cents or bucks to go to Stefano's.
Well, except
What?
the
It's-
last time I went to Stefano's,
it's
it was
cheaper.
like a freaking club in there, and that bothered me.
Oh, I haven't been there since.
It was a
Oh.
party.
It out.
I had to like, there's a bouncer at the door, basically.
Did you like feel uncomfortable there at 4 PM when it was like a club, or?
It made me feel uncomfortable because they weren't paying attention to me. The music was really loud. I couldn't concentrate on what wine I was choosing. They always say hello to me and, oh, how's your mother, blah, blah, blah. This time they were just bouncing
That's
around.
really what they should focus on. They should become a place where there's, the wine selection there should be.
I mean, there's no wine at Winn-Dixie, so
Exactly.
yeah, I
That's
mean
gonna
there
be-
is,
The
but only
wine
the
sucks
bad
there.
bottles. I mean, Stefano's for what I buy for the bourbon, it's like $5 cheaper than
They
than
should
the
have
Winn-Dixie.
a wine expert. What's the name? A sommelier, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Rafa, you should be a sommelier.
at both of these places,
No one knows anything.
yeah, no one knows anything. At Winn-Dixie, at least they don't pretend to know. At Stefano's, they will just refer you to whatever bottle they have promoting, and they will tell you that it's good, even though neither of the guys drink wine, and they
They
just
don't.
tell
I
you it's
always
good,
ask,
and
hey,
it's
did you drink this? Yeah.
yeah, they don't.
The main wine guy there is the guy that used to work at Oasis, right?
He's not the main guy, though.
No? No, he's
I
the
don't
one that
know,
always
He
but-
helps
works
me.
there. He's just a regular employee.
The thing about a liquor store is, I feel like they should have a little bit more experience. Like they just put like a Winn-Dixie cashier at the Winn-Dixie liquor store,
some kid.
and that's why I don't like it because she has no clue about any liquor that I ask about, and I don't think that's cool. I think a liquor store needs to be a little bit more personable.
And the majority of the liquor stores in South Florida have no idea what they're selling.
I go to Big Daddy's on Bird Road, the Flanagan's
Flanagan's,
one,
yeah.
because not only do they know what's up, they also give you points, and every like $25 gives you a point, and every 10 points gives you $20 gift card to Flanny's, which you can in turn use for beer. Okay.
And a T-shirt. I think you got a T-shirt. Too.
And once I
Big
went to
Daddy.
Flanny's with $60 worth of Big Daddy points.
At Sunset Liquors, they also know their stuff. It's way out there, but it's really good value, and they have a whole desk dedicated to a wine person that can guide you to what.
I think
What does that conversation sound like? What do you tell them? Like, I want.
You tell them you have to know a little bit, So if you don't know anything, it's
need to know the
it's
lingo.
kind of but it's like maybe you like it dry or a lot of body. A lot of body means it's like thicker on the mouth. I hate that. I like it light, not too light, but dry.
The one we're drinking tonight is light.
Some wines taste too much like alcohol. Like you can taste it on the back
It's
of
acidic.
on the back of your throat. You taste like an alcohol burn. Usually with the cheaper wines. And then you can just tell them like I like a certain grape, or whatever variety, and they will tell you, well,
So-
this one's
Or the
good
food
for the
you're
to
gonna
price.
eat.
be
with
clear,
it.
your guys' gripe
Yeah.
is really just with the wine and the lack of knowledge about the wine. Because the other booze, I mean, are you having that high end conversation about
Yeah,
rums
because
and stuff?
this is what you could have. You know what the other way of doing it is? I like this wine. Can you recommend me another wine that's kind of similar,
Right.
but I
Try
want
a
to
new
try
one.
something else?
Right.
Oh, what he's saying, but if you're
beer, it would be
drinking
the same.
something
I'm
other
saying
than
if
wine,
you're just going to the liquor store like most of us just to get booze, I mean, I've never had a conversation with a guy. I mean, other than just like not about booze anyway.
Hey, well, look.
I have about tequila. Like I don't know anything about tequila. It's like, can you recommend a good tequila?
Right, that's what you want to ask about.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
You can't just walk in and be like, "Hey, look, I'm having a veal parmesan. What do you recommend?"
Yeah, the food is another conversation you have with somebody.
I got a little fettuccine Alfredo. What do you recommend?
So for the road rats out there,
Alfredo
the
or
old
white?
rats that now live in the roads on Coral Way, there's a Vintage Liquors, I think it's called, and you get free Islander newspapers there Thursdays. So that's my
Ooh.
stop
Wow.
before I go home every
Look at
Thursday.
that.
Pick
Road
up
rat.
the Islander,
Yeah.
some booze, and I pretend like I still live on the key.
I like that. I like that. Road rats. I hadn't heard that.
Road rat.
Road rats.
I've never heard that.
You hadn't heard it?
No.
You just Are you breaking that out right now?
No, I think Blanco's been throwing it out. And
Okay, well,
seeing if
now
it'll
it's
stick,
official.
and Road rats, I guess.
Shout out to the road rats tonight.
All right. Should we go to Talk of the Town?
Yes, we do.
Do we need a jingle for Talk of the Town?
We love the
Yes,
jingle.
we do.
Oh wait, you need your mouth there.
We paid for a jingle.
It's Talk of the Town.
Thank you, Chico.
Hey, it doesn't work unless it pulls Chico
Yeah.
to a bark.
The Key Biscayne Yacht Club is having the boat parade on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Right.
Decorate your boat. Find somebody that you know with a boat and get on there. They go down to the No Name Harbor, and I don't know who's going to MC. Is it Tim Stickney?
Yeah, Stickney's emceeing. I confirmed with him this morning.
Oh, nice. All right. So it's a great time. You decorate the boat with lights, and you just putt for an hour. Say hi to everybody. You kind of wave at all the people at the Boaters Grill there. And
I got recruited by the newish dockmaster, Christine. It'll probably be one of the picket boats. Basically, it means you just go out there with a light, and so people don't crash into the flat. So if any of you guys are interested, I'll probably be
Security.
taking my boat out, and
To join you.
you can watch the parade that way. And other years we actually decorated my boat, but I think I'll just
Forecast is good, too. It's
Yeah.
throughout. I mean, all this rain that we've had, I missed a lot of it, but I was here for the last few days, and it's clear skies all the way through the weekend.
cool.
This is not a boat, but Manny has decorated his golf cart with Christmas lights, and it's pretty interesting. So if anybody's out there sees a golf cart
there's
with
all
Christmas
types of
lights.
crap.
Are you
going
going to take that to Manny? Manny, or are you going to be on a boat?
No,
Saturday night?
I'm hearing this for the first time, and that night we're doing the football party. We've talked about the Key Rat football program here, and the Dr. Bob Kemper Award we give. Talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a trivia one.
So it's that Saturday night, and they've asked me to go and present the award. So that's where I'll be at. It's at the Beach Club, like probably 6 to 9, 6 to 10. Then after that, I'll head over to wherever. I'll head over in the golf
paddleboard,
cart.
man.
I know the yacht club is usually like a chilly thing that happens on the docks.
Yeah, they
that
usually
goes
have
along with
chili
this,
after.
right?
Yeah, after.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that might
that'll
be a
party.
good scene to hit up.
Yeah, a little dinner.
The BO will be decorated and out there. We need
All
to
right.
pull on
Yeah.
a little generator to run our Christmas lights. but-
Who's on the crew?
Yeah.
Do you get anybody or not?
Yeah, I will invite one or two people, but my parents are going too, so our guest list has to be approved by them, and I have to approve their guest list, so it's complicated.
All right. The Calusa Club is having a scavenger hunt on January 15th. It'll be a golf cart scavenger hunt. What, are you out of town that
Yes,
day
I
too?
am out of town. It's every time I leave town, you guys do something
Man, I've had this date
Ridiculous.
for a while. I mean,
cool.
We're gonna have to revisit that day, but what's the rest of it, Rafa?
it's January 15th. It's already
Damn.
booked at the Beach Club.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's
what it is
awesome.
you get a team of 5, max 5. You can have less if you want. And there's a list, and you got to go take pictures around the key on the golf cart with your team. And the pictures are worth different amount of points depending on the difficulty. And then everybody goes out for like an hour or two, tries to get all these pictures, and then they come back and we review them, give points, and somebody wins, and it'll be a nice little party at the Beach Club.
That sounds awesome. So how are you? How much criteria is there? How long is the list, and who's making the list?
I will probably have to make the list, and I will probably not be able to participate because unless we get like some volunteers to, man the home base, I'll have to stay there and wait for everybody to come back and review all the photos and stuff like that.
You can Skype me. I'll hang out with you.
And so that's the plan. How long is the list? It'll be long enough that nobody will be able to do the whole list.
So how do you register?
We don't have the registration up yet. That'll probably happen right after New Year's. I don't want to put it out there now because it'll just.
So how do you register?
There will be an online form, and there will be Venmo, and there will be also meet up and.
So
cash
you'll figure
payment.
out a fair fee that'll cover the scavenger hunt and food
and
beer,
food
all that?
and beer, exactly,
club.
and maybe
Well, you
some
can
wine.
actually catch the news within in a few weeks on our Facebook page on Calusa Club.
And we'll mention it again on Rat Radio.
Awesome. Yeah, we should. You probably want to start talking about it. So that's good that you mentioned it already now.
Is
Yeah,
this-
exactly.
is this- is this a spin-off or the like same idea of what we did years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We had 5 people on
That
the
was a
How to Get
scavenger
Golf
hunt
cart.
also?
Okay. We had 5 people on the How to
On
Get
a
Golf cart.
that's a 2-man golf
That's
cart.
it.
So it is teams of 5.
I mean, it's max five
Max 5,
on your
okay.
team. If you want to
Yeah.
do less, you can do less. But the entry fee is going to be per team.
Okay.
So if you have less people, you still pay for the whole team.
When we did it, my team, we were at 7-Eleven. There was some sort of thing there. There's some pictures of me and some cheese there. So I don't know what the thing on the list was, but we stole beer from the golf cart of Paul Hoya's team. They got pretty angry. Now we're friends, but back then we didn't really know each other.
I'm in for sure. I've got
man, it was fun.
I'm
They got
getting a team
mad.
for that.
I hope everybody has a
Hope
team.
everybody does.
It's so fun. We had it was so fun.
And
is-
so that's a Saturday, obviously.
That's 10. No, it's a Friday. I like doing events on
nice.
Friday because Saturdays I'm usually tired from going out on Friday.
Day
So
I
drinking on
like
Saturday.
that.
So I like Friday.
I like that. A
Yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
in January. That's the nicest time of year.
Exactly.
I wonder what the tide's going
It's
to be.
gonna be
that day. I'm gonna
dark
check
too,
it out.
no?
Huh?
It'll be dark when we do it, I assume.
Yeah, it's at
night,
night. Yeah. You gotta
So
get
fun.
I mean, I'm imagining everybody using a iPhone or whatever to do this, but
Let me know if you guys change the date.
Where are you going, Anna?
so that's
New
that.
York.
Grassroots is coming February 18th to the 21st, and they just announced the lineup, and it looks decent. I wish it was a little better. There was a couple bands that I'm missing,
Dana the
but
Buffalo, is it on there?
of
Donna.
course, Donna,
Donna.
they run the
Thank
show.
you, thank
So
you.
They have a
They
great
headline.
lineup
You know
this
me.
year, Rafa. I mean, this year they're bringing the Family Stone. They're bringing all the local bands like Spam All Star, Suenalo, Afro
Locos.
Beta,
Locos
Locos
Por
Por
Juana.
Juana. So it's actually going to be a great show.
Is Artificial on there? I'd like to see them. Those guys are.
No, I don't think they are, man.
I didn't see them now, but there's
Columbus.
more to come too. They mentioned more to come.
But actually, a really good band that I suggest everybody should take time to listen to is Juke. They're a local Miami band, and they play kind of bluesy music, and I recommend it to anybody.
that was the best thing we saw last year.
Yeah, that's
And the only thing is that and I told them this when I saw them at another place, they booked them on a Thursday for Grassroots, which is the day that nobody goes. And they're too good to be on a Thursday. They need to be on the Saturday lineup, and I hope they put them on Saturday this year.
It's definitely, I think, the best festival around here.
Yeah.
It's so good.
You know what? Would be too cool is to do a show from over there Wednesday night before that Thursday.
No, not happening.
Get the bands on you.
Rose Haney's team won the national championships in the USTA League 9.0 women's over 55. She's been playing that. It used to be called World Team Tennis. I don't know if it's the same thing. I think it probably is. It's like people who want to compete nationally on tennis teams, and she won the national championships in Arizona. Now Rose is a frequent contributor to the shows, Bob's mom, and not only that, Rose also leads the Fight to Stop the Tennis Center expansion over here. So congrats, Rose, and yeah.
Way to go, Rose. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yay.
She's won it before, which is
9-0.
crazy.
Clap on that.
9-0 is like
9-0 is a doubles, right? It's doubles.
yeah, I think it is doubles. Yeah,
So it's to 5. So that means it's like a 5-0 and a 4-0 or 2-4-5. So either way,
they're the top
at the top
level.
of her game.
Yeah, top level.
I
yeah.
remember Rose. I'll
a
give her
gr-
a shout out from back in the '90s when we played softball. I played softball with Rose for a long. I don't know if you remember her, but she played first base. She was solid there all the way through. So
She plays.
glad to
She
see
played
that.
first base. I think Bobby uses her glove, and Bob has a lot of pride when he takes over that first base.
Is that right?
I'd love to, yeah.
He knows that.
I
He
think
knows
so.
that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh,
great.
and happy birthday, Laura!
Happy
since we're
birthday,
talking
Laura.
about it.
Yes.
Yes. Happy
Laura.
birthday,
So-
love.
I had that on the list too. That it's Laura's birthday,
Yeah.
and it's also Annika's birthday, and Annika's a big fan of the show.
How about a little birthday jingle, man?
Uh,
Wow, happy birthday,
Uh-oh.
Annika.
I don't know how to
You're
play
gonna put
Happy
on the
Birthday.
spot. On the
Yeah.
spot.
fuck.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
That was amazing.
From Chico too,
You know.
man, bringing it all the way with
It
you.
was the effort.
You guys were
Thanks
for
that was
effort.
wonderful.
Annika is Alex Baby's mom, right?
Yeah.
I should say, Alex, baby. Sorry, Alex. Terrano and I were best friends when we were like 4 or 5 years old. Our moms were best friends. So happy birthday, Annika.
Yeah.
And Laura.
Yeah, and Laura's birthdays. So that's good. Of course, I have to say that there are fresh mammoth Georgia pecans, and the KB Women's Club has them available if you need some. Very, very tasty.
How are they moving, Rafa?
I've never talked to anybody involved with the pecans, but we had them on this show, and they were really good. And apparently they weren't from the Women's Club, but either way, you should have some pecans. Contact the KB Women's Club.
They were from the Women's Club, Rafa.
They were finally from the Women's Club? Oh, nice.
Thanks.
Okay, so
Thanks,
they were
ladies.
a great asset to this show.
Sir Pizza.
Meanwhile,
Waiting for you.
It is Wednesday, December 9th, 2015. It is 7:20 p.m. And this is the No One's Listening show, Key Biscayne show. We talk about Key Biscayne stuff. 305-361-8557 if you want to talk about anything.
Griff, what do you got?
There's in other news, it's actually funny. I was looking over the news the other day on Miami Herald, and a really, a radio station is changing format, and that's 102.7.
Oldies.
Majic 102.7. Actually, they're changing format, and they're firing all the DJs
Ron St. John?
that have been there. No, not him. That have been there for the last 20-something years. Like Mindy Lang and a few other
really?
DJs. So they're all getting fired, and apparently they're all changing. Basically, the radio station got bought out.
Yeah.
So it's sad that radio's changing in general across Miami.
What's the station turning into?
I think it's going to be more of an upbeat. I mean, it's on Miami Herald. You got to look at it. It's really sad. Again, radio stations are changing, and they're always looking for new formats.
Once Zeta left.
Well, once all the big, you know what happened is the FCC said that. Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
Got a little
hello,
more light in here.
guys.
The FCC in the 90s, I think it happened. They deregulated how many media companies you could own. So what happened is that these companies lobbied basically to be able to own many more publications and radio stations than they could before, and that's when radio changed. Like finally, radio had already become like a national thing in the sense that they were all kind of imitating each other, but no company could own so many radio stations, and then they just let it loose.
Is there some sort of limit?
No, I don't think there is a limit, and so any company can own hundreds of stations, and that's why they all sound the same across the U.S., whereas from what I understand, I wasn't around at the time, but in the 70s, there were so many more independent stations, and they all gave like a sound to the radio that was very unique, unique to the area and unique to things like that. And now, since like big companies like Clear Channel and Cox own a lot of stations, they just pump out the same programming across the country. They don't care they do care a little bit about local markets, but they have it so down to a science that it becomes this generic vibe that is just lame.
I listen to a lot of FM radio just because I drive an older car and I haven't gotten around to, rigging it up with something way better. But FM radio is just terrible. Especially in Miami, there's no good stations.
90.5.
It's only going to get worse.
I mean, there's a few.
I
Sure.
like Shake 108. I really like it.
Yeah,
I like
that one's
WVR.
independent.
I mean, I like the
independent
idea of Shake
nonprofit.
108, but honestly, I don't really like most of the music they play.
Yeah, I don't either.
Radio's a tough business, apparently, if you have to pay for the songs that you put on there and stuff. I don't know.
No, I think the payment for the songs isn't that much.
mean-
It's pennies. I mean, not even. It's fractions of a
I
penny.
think it's just the demographic of Miami. When you go to other cities that have different demographics, you get much better stations.
Yeah.
There's one
But
thing.
still, they're not very unique to the area or anything. Just
I don't understand one thing. When the classical station was taken down a couple months ago, now they're on. What the hell is HD radio? Let's talk about it.
You have it in your car, don't you?
I don't know. I don't understand. Someone said that the classical station exists in an HD radio station. I don't know how to find
So
it.
I thought HT was for TV. This is
No, there's HD radio. Too.
That's
It
why
sounds
I'm
better.
confused about it. That's why I'm asking.
And but newer. Whose car was I in the other day that they were flipping through the channels? It was you.
That's a new car
Yeah.
right there.
And you flip through the channels, and there's the HD stations.
How do you reach it?
In between? And the same way. It was on the same dial.
But the jazz
It
station now has random spurts of classical music in the middle of the songs, and I'm really lost. I'm just so confused. And it says HD on my little thing,
Oh, there you go.
but I have no clue what's going on.
They usually have a lot of them have a
88.9.
FM station, and they broadcast on the HD thing too.
Well,
Rat Radio is not HD. I'll tell you that.
I wanted to also mention I spoke earlier to you guys about tomorrow night we're going to go to watch the movie in the heart of the sea. Key Biscayne resident invited to anybody who wants to come out. We're going to go to watch this film. It's the Moby Dick story, and Pete Zuccarini worked on it. He was a
Oh, no
videographer on it. Yep. So he's like, yeah, let's go.
That guy's
We'll
like the
watch it.
master. You know that,
What
right?
time, Manny?
7:00
And where?
over at Lincoln Road.
At the...
Royal.
Yeah, the IMAX.
That's great.
And then after we're going to go across the street to Altamar. I'm not sure which.
It's a restaurant. It's a nice
Altamar, yeah.
restaurant.
So we're going to go there
Cool.
for some dinner and drinks and
Pete's like a
right.
master cinematographer underwater, like one of the best in the world, I think. Right?
yeah, he's the world premiere
Yeah.
of what he does. I mean,
Does he live on the Key?
Yeah, he lives on the Key.
Okay.
Grew up on the Key, ransom kid. Went to Brown. He's a year older than me.
Speaking about water, has anybody noticed the development of the marina, the Miami Stadium, of these huge tents and
Oh, yeah.
construction?
The white tents? I was wondering what
It's
that was
actually
about.
changing, and
At the Bayside Hut, yeah, it's all these
So it's
like
getting
modern
big.
tents. They're
I
very
actually-
modern with like really sleek lines that curve and stuff like that.
What
When
it
is
for?
the boat show?
it's
In
in
February.
February, and I
But
saw
there's
the
another
pictures
street against
on
it,
Facebook via the Key Rat chat. Somebody had posted them. I think it was Randy for Susan.
Lutheran, yeah.
So yeah, things are changing, guys.
Wow, I didn't realize it. It's right there. It doesn't look ready at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I do have a piece of news that, thank God, it doesn't affect me, but it might affect other listeners and people out there. So back to last week's talk of Kevin and the drug bust and all that stuff. Apparently, they found out that Kevin was taking payments for drugs via Venmo. And now they are going to go after the people who paid him on Venmo.
Ooh.
And they're going to try to get those people to testify against him or just subpoena them to be involved in the thing. I don't think they're going to prosecute those people, but I just heard that. It was like a passing thing.
Gee, man,
So-
isn't Venmo what your preferred method of payment
Yeah, I
is?
use
Yeah.
it for like the frisbee tournament and like
Yeah.
our Calusa club
Yeah,
stuff
well, if
has
you're
a
not doing
Venmo
anything
account.
Legitimate
illegal,
purposes.
I've used it for corner payment.
Yeah.
Well, we're a legitimate.
That's what I,
business, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't affect us.
Yeah,
Don't forget trivia. We need an answer to
Venmo
trivia.
is great.
Yeah.
I use it for all different types of things, and I promote it to other people.
So I did
Yeah.
hear that there was a list of some sort. You know,
Yeah. Which
I was
is
telling you guys a little bit earlier. I sat down with my kids last night, to have a talk. I mean, 12 and 16 years old, and just about what's going on and about happening in their building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Did they admit anything?
no, they didn't. They were shocked. They were shocked by that. Kids are dying from heroin here on the Key, and the whole story that we've heard. A lot of that. But my son, the 16-year-old, said something like what you're saying. He said, "There's a list. We
Yeah.
know that the kids and stuff know that it's a strong message being sent because we're having these talks. In fact, there's a talk tonight. Rafa, we went to the one. I'm sure that a lot of those parents talk to their kids. Hopefully,
Yeah.
kids talk to each other. It's a move in the right direction, man, for sure.
the other thing. I told you guys that study that came out this week. I wish I had the abstract and the people involved, but it was some universities, some researchers, that 3/4 of high school kids who have tried heroin started on pain pills, on opiate pain pills.
That explains it.
It's the
Yeah.
same family.
So they start with the pain pills, but the pain pills cost like $15 a hit, and apparently once you get a little tolerance, you need a lot of them, and then they go to the heroin because it's like heroin's like $4 or something. So it's, I don't know the prices, but it's like really cheap from what I read.
It's saying that.
What do you guys think of the way that on the paper, not the paper, but the people in specific are speaking about the island, like, oh, you know, these kids have money and they have time on their hands. And like, what do you think? I mean,
you know what?
That's pretty obvious.
It is obvious.
Somebody told me that, but that's a dumb way to look at it because
then you look at the poor neighborhoods. Oh, they're doing it too. Like,
yeah, exactly. Poor
and they're doing it because they're poor.
Are rocked by drugs too. So it's like I don't think it has anything to do with that.
I read that article on the island, and I was just kind of disappointed by one of the quotes in there. I mean, I guess in a way it's true, but it's like, we have all these kids and they have all this time and nothing to do. You know, it's like Key Biscayne. Like, if you don't have anything to do out here, if your parents can't steer you in the right direction of activities out here, I don't know. I just don't like this creation of activities that
kids are never more busy in every moment, in every second of every moment than now.
Yeah.
With their device, or so they're not just where they are right now; they're where all their friends are.
And to those people who say that, I mean, I tell them to think to themselves, like, why do you have a drink? I mean, why do you have a drink when you have a drink? What, because you don't have enough things to do? Why aren't you completely sober? You know, like,
I thought it was
it's such a bad way to think about it. It has nothing to do with that. You know, the bottom line is that we have drinks because we like how it feels, and kids will turn to drugs, or other people will turn to drugs because at the beginning they like how it feels. They might be ignorant to how dangerous it can be. But it's the same as having a drink, just a different feeling and a different thing. And the only problem is that it's easier to not drink than it is to some of these drugs to get off of them, and they could be a lot more dangerous. But I mean, don't pretend that your drinking is, if you drink, obviously, some kind of, you know, that it's not along the same lines. I mean, you could be reading a book, you could be doing so many more productive things than having a drink, but you're not. So
just unwinding, Ralph. I'm just unwinding.
Yeah, exactly.
I just didn't like those quotes in the paper, and I don't know. I thought they were a little bit.
I don't think
there was so
was
much
there.
about it that I didn't like. I didn't like how they didn't say who he was, his age, how he was so young, because it made it seem like there was some kind of kingpin on the key. And I think it's very relevant how young he was, because it gives some perspective to the fact that this isn't, I don't know, it's not some kind of like masterminded operation. It's just a young kid who's serving to people he knows, and it grew out of hand. I mean,
he's 23, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's 23 years old.
So young.
Also, talking about kids and Key Biscayne, you know, the last DUI manslaughter that happened on Key Biscayne, where a younger gentleman hit two bikes, and one of them died. One of the bicyclists died, and yesterday he finally made a deal, and he's now going to serve 2 years.
Is this
What?
McKelly?
Wow.
No,
This
it's Alvarez.
So,
Alvarez.
right.
So
Wow.
he's serving 2 years, 2 years of house arrest and 10 years of probation, and obviously his license is revoked. But that's a heads up.
Hasn't it been like 2 years?
No,
that happened in January.
Yeah, this happened this
So it's
year.
been 1 year.
Yeah, and he's been out on bail.
Oh, so now he starts the 2 years.
So yesterday he actually made a plea agreement, plea deal. So, you know, he was facing up to 40 years in prison. His dad, I guess.
How did you not tell me that before the show, man? I could have put that in the notes. That would have been a good thing to
Well, it's here now.
It's here now.
What I'll tell you is that's very little for.
That is. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I was reading a lot of the comments on the Miami Herald of what a lot of people were saying is
Not to say that I think you should get more, but I just think I'm astonished that they managed to strike that. Yeah.
Was there a lawsuit?
But keep in mind
there
that
probably is.
this plea was made with the victims' families as well. So it was a mutual agreement. You know, I was reading a lot of the comments on Miami Herald section, and you know, a lot of people, you know, are very displeased because, you know, he should have served more time for what he did.
I'm nodding my head.
But you know, that's what the system is here in South Florida.
I think the penalties are way too harsh, but I was surprised when you're telling me that. I'm surprised that he managed to strike that, and I think definitely if he didn't have the resources he had, there's no way he would have gotten a deal like that.
2 years of house arrest?
No, 2 years and then 2 years of house arrest.
For
right?
taking somebody's life, that's too harsh.
2 and 2, and then 10 years of probation. I think it's too little.
Like, it's
And
easy
that's
to
my
say.
personal
It's
opinion.
easy to say. Yeah, I agree with you, Griff. I mean, it's easy for us to say not knowing the victim and stuff, but I mean, whether it's an accident or not, the actions he took resulted in somebody else losing their life.
Yeah.
And you think 2 years is too light of a punishment for that?
Yeah, because it was an accident.
Yeah, an accident which he fled, and an accident that actions he took caused things that different choices he could have made would have avoided that outcome.
So
Yeah.
that's the third.
I mean,
I think
the
the
intent
fleeing is the
wasn't
problem.
there. No, but the death is the problem. He did things that caused somebody's death. I mean, there's no way around that.
Look, in general, it's a third case in Key Biscayne by Key Biscayne residents, and I think everybody should, keep their eyes open and realize, hey, man, take an Uber home. Don't go home at 6 a.m. drunk.
Don't
drive.
speed when you're drunk.
Don't drive,
if you're gonna be that guy. Do
don't
not
drive.
speed.
It's a third case, and I think everybody should learn the lesson.
With the Uber there, no one should be driving drunk.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's just no
But it
point
happens.
anymore. Before it was
It
hard to
does.
get
So
a
that's-
cab from the Key. It's so easy now. There's no reason.
That's the
not
news.
to.
I couldn't get an Uber the other night on the Key on Saturday night, like
Ooh.
8 o'clock, 8:30. Yeah,
They were
you know
on
who I
the
called?
beach.
You know who I called?
The Gophers,
you-
you told me.
I tell you, I call the Gophers. Key Gophers came through. They're like, hang on, I got to rouse some guy out of bed. I'll call you in 5 minutes.
Some drunk guy to give you a ride.
So this guy showed up. He was all like half asleep. He's going to charge you $45. It's going to be $45 to Winwood. An Uber would have been
That was
15.
standard
Yeah.
taxi though from.
Yeah, you should
It's
just call a
taxi.
cab.
Yeah.
I did the cab. You know what the cab, dude? Calling a cab now, it's like listening to an 8-track. All right, you don't even know what that
so
means.
miserable.
You don't even know what that means.
The best-
Cabs are.
The best way to catch a cab on the Key is go to the Ritz and just go from there.
I didn't know that.
Go to the Ritz.
Yeah, they're there.
Leave your car there
Good
and
tip.
go from a cab there.
My cart.
I'm sorry, leave your cart there.
So anything else, Rafa?
Well, that was a big news over there for you to break.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was two big things. I mean,
well, I didn't.
Griff coming in strong.
Damn.
yeah, I wish you would have told me before. We could have.
Hey, it
I
actually-
still want to talk about it. I can't believe we moved off of it so
Yeah,
quickly.
Yeah, we need to talk.
It's
Negative.
something that just
What's the
came
hurry?
to me.
What about trivia? Who wants the tickets to the Big Short? Who wants tickets to the Big Short?
Hey, hang on a second.
Austin's
Austin,
disappointed.
call somebody. Who do you think knows it? Call your dad right now.
We have
Call your
6 people here. Anyone have a
call your
guess?
dad right now.
All right, look, I'll throw a guess.
All
Is
right.
it the Miami Lake Speedboat?
No, there are current clubs there, cool clubs that I kind of want to join.
Let's call his old man right
Is
now.
it the
I kind of thought
Calvert Club?
no, but that was the first club ever in Stiltsville.
Oh.
Don't give the answer.
Do you
Call
know
your
it?
dad right now, please.
Just
Manny,
give us
do you
the
know it?
tickets.
It's
I don't know.
305
No, not at all.
361
Not even close.
8557.
All right.
305
all right. Yeah,
361.
call that if you're
All
gonna
right,
get
I'm
a
going to
phone.
call my dad.
Okay,
Call
one
your
at
old
a
dad.
time,
You call your
please.
dad. Say, hey, Dad. I'm going to put you on
Daddy.
speakerphone. I'm going to ask you a trivia question. I want to see if you know it.
Okay.
It'll
let's
pick it right
go
up there.
Steve.
Crank that volume up.
Pointed at the
Who are we
mic.
calling right now?
Calling my dad. We'll see if he answers.
Mr. Tillum?
Dad, you're live on the radio.
I am.
You are. We have a trivia question that no one here has gotten and no one's called in for. So, you ready to answer it?
Let me see what it is.
All right. This Stiltsville Social Club was featured in Life magazine in 1941. What was the name of it?
I'm making a complete guess that it would have been the Bikini Club.
Oh, no. No.
No, but hang on. Before you
Manny
give the
have it?
answer, tell us a little bit about the Bikini Club. What do you remember about that?
All right, Dad. Sorry to put you on the spot. I love you.
I really-
What a good
Come on.
son he's got.
Let him talk.
My dad wasn't around in the 40s. He was born in 65, right?
I have to say before.
I was born in 52.
52. Same thing.
Damn, your dad's
What
35.
were the stories? Tell us about what your dad was doing over there. Hey, what was going on?
Well, the stories of the Bikini Club are summed up by saying what went on at the Bikini Club stayed at the Bikini Club.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
I have to say that, like, before we answer the trivia, I don't know what it is, but like, Stiltsville wasn't in existence in the 40s. I know that much. So I don't really. The question's kind of flawed, I think.
What do you mean?
Well, it's
the
the
name
beginning.
of Stiltsville wasn't, but there were houses out there.
Right. Well, okay. Well,
Oh, there were houses. Because I didn't understand that earlier when you mentioned. There were houses, but it wasn't.
I don't know if there were houses.
It
It was
or
like
as
some.
much as-
There's some grounded ships out there. Yeah. It wasn't.
Yeah,
No,
but
it looked like
there were
Stilts-
docks.
I saw
Yeah.
pictures. It looked like Stiltsville.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
What time?
1941, Life magazine.
All right,
So
No,
1941.
Manny, get a
Let's drill in a little bit. Let's do a little CSI on this. What's going on in 1941 in this country?
It's right before World War II.
Right before World War
Yeah.
II. So what are we coming off of?
We are coming off
Prohibition.
The Depression.
The Depression. Right?
Yeah.
The 30s.
Exactly.
This is what's going to cure an economy. War.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that was what was going on in that part of history, right? So.
Yeah.
So what clubs? Who was out there? Like there was it the Cypress Garden Club? Or
No,
Cypress
you're not on the right track.
Guys, don't forget about the
It's called
burger tip.
Have you guys ever eaten at the Quarter Deck Club in Fort Lauderdale?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a Quarter Deck.
Don't touch the mic.
The first the Quarter Deck Club out there. It was the second club out there. Rafa got the first club, the Culvert Club, but it looked pretty badass and it's pretty cool. So if you haven't Googled Stiltsville Quarterback Club or something like that, read about it tomorrow while you're bored at the office.
I almost Googled that today, actually.
To see you. Cool.
Not really.
On that note, we're going to come back to some of these topics. I don't want to do it now because it's just a mess to jump 5 topics and then come back and then do all this
I
stuff.
think Ruff is angry.
And no, I'm not. Come on.
Sorry.
It's just, that's a big topic to talk about the philosophical implications of how long a person should serve time to do things like
How
for
you say, for
manslaughter.
what it's worth, I thought about it right now.
Oh.
Okay, well, tell us.
I just did.
What do you mean? Oh, you just
About the news. For what it's worth, I thought about it right now.
Oh, gotcha.
No, hey,
No, don't worry about that.
Listen, he's like walking and boom, what was that? Griff just broke some news.
Yeah.
Big
There
news.
you go.
Just walking, end of the show stuff.
I
That's
feel
what
like
we
Ron
wait for.
Burgundy over here,
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord.
Manny, can you say the place where you live? Because you haven't said it this.
He said it twice.
no,
Excuse me,
that's a-
corrections. He
that's
said it twice
That's
today
a point
already.
for me.
Did he?
Yeah, he has said it twice, and
I
I was
said
wondering where the jingle was.
No, I said it once, and somebody else said it once.
I missed
Griff,
it.
I said it.
Oh,
It's
man.
been said twice tonight.
I must have been distracted. Oh, man.
And I don't know why there's no jingle for the correction segment.
Well,
okay?
I got a lot on my plate, so I don't have any jingles yet, but they're coming.
Well, the
These things
GG
are.
was said twice.
The intro jingle, I got to redo it, so it's a little shorter. I think we're switching to melodica instead of the ukulele, even though I like the uke.
So it should have.
It's more water resistant.
Not just that; it just has like a more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish
Peter
you guys.
Pan type
I wish
thing.
you guys played some instruments so that we could.
We do.
I know.
Yeah.
Who does?
I don't know.
What do we have?
Nothing.
So can you just say it one more time?
Say what, man?
Oh, come on.
Hey, G-Man, come on, buddy. Let's go.
Say where you live. Say it.
You want me to say where I live?
Yeah.
I'm over there, man, on the east side.
Oh, come on, man.
Come on, baby.
Rafa's
Over on the
dying
east
over
side,
here.
man. You've been over there. There's a few streets. We make up the Garden District over there.
All right.
That's the build up of the story.
I just love it.
I can't believe you missed it.
That's
twice.
a recurring theme on this show.
So what? Signing off?
Yeah, that's it. It's over. It's 7:45 on this Wednesday, December 9th.
Hey, and
Thanks for
listeners,
listening.
stay tuned, man. We're going to have some good news for you next week.
Yeah, next week some good stuff going on. Oh, wait, there's a huge thing that I didn't tell you guys. This is for you guys.
What?
This is so good. I'm not going to be here next week.
What?
And you guys get to do the show without me. And I'm so excited to
So
hear
who's gonna be the
what
host?
it's going to be like without you guys, without me.
Dude, 75 minutes into this
Yeah,
60-minute
I totally
show,
forgot.
that's when you forget to tell us?
Yeah, so
Well, that's interesting.
new-
so absorb
host.
that. Yeah, we need a new host. You want to do
host.
it?
We can do
I'll
it.
be the host next time.
Hey,
We can do it.
That's good. And then I have to prime everybody on how to use all this crap, and it's gonna be good.
Oh, wait a second. Who's going to set all this up, man?
No,
Don't
we got
worry.
this. We're smart.
Don't worry. It's already set up. I'll just show you. I'll just take a picture right now, and
We'll make a
everything will be
video.
good. Anyway, go to Facebook Rat Radio where you can listen to repeats. The radio's down right now, but it should be up in the next week or so. Running at full power. What else is going on?
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. We're on Wednesdays at 6:30. Have a good night.
Good night.
Say
All
bye.
right,
everybody.
thanks for listening.
Bye.
All right, we're done.